those are the two most important steps that, in my opinion, we can take for ourselves right now, because we all are worthy of living our dream life. And I also want us to just remember, we're already living the dream life now, and there is another version of that dream life waiting, another delicious upgraded version that we get to enjoy when that comes, and we get to fully be in gratitude for the dream life that we are already living now, and living in that paradox. Hey beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel, in which we speak about all things self-mastery and how we can live the best life. And in today's video, I will be sharing with you the most potent and important way of how we can create our dream life, which is bringing through the good energy that is always within us into physical reality. Because as you may know, our physical reality is a reflection of our energy within, of the state of our energy within us, because everything is frequency. So depending on how we are vibrating, that will also affect how everything is vibrating on the outside in our physical reality. So for me, when I first learned about this, I was like, oh, so it's all about cultivating the good energy. I get to meditate all the time, and I get to cultivate beautiful energy within myself. And that is the first step. However, that's not all. There are two very important steps. So let's talk about the first one in a little bit more depth. So when we are meditating or partaking spiritual practices or doing what we really, really love, following our passion, connecting to our inner joy, connecting to our inner love in whatever capacity that is, it doesn't have to be a spiritual practice. We are connecting with ourselves on a soul level. We are connecting to that aspect within ourselves that only wants the best for us, that is always experiencing love, that always wants us to be able to experience the best version of reality that we could ever possibly imagine for ourselves, and even beyond our imagination, right? It is limitless. And yes, it is also the limitless aspect within us, the one that is connected to the all, the aspect within us that knows that there are infinite possibilities that we can step into, and it knows exactly how that can happen, and it knows exactly what to do, and it will give us that insight at the right moment, and then we'll be in the right place at the right time, thanks to following our intuition, thanks to following that voice within ourselves, the one that is quietly whispering all those loving things, all the things that we get to do for ourselves that are from that place of, you're an infinite being. You can do that. You can actually go beyond what you know. So there is that aspect within us, right? This limitless creator. And as I've spoken about in my other videos as well, we also have our ego, our lower aspects, our wounded selves, our wounded inner children, those aspects that are living in fear and are basing choices on fear, or basing choices on the known, like what we've already experienced. So therefore, that's what I'm gonna base my next choice on. And we all have, if we put it very simply, there are more layers to this. There are more aspects, there are more in-depth ways that we can describe all these things. However, to just keep it really simple, we have these two aspects within us, the voice of love, the voice of fear. And we all carry these, and we all get to choose every day how much we listen to the voice of love or the voice of fear. So this is where our empowerment comes in. It's not about getting rid of the voice of fear or bypassing it or shaming it, because then we're actually coming from the voice of fear again. Because only the voice of the ego can feel shameful and can shame others and can judge others. The voice of love does not do that, right? So we get to cultivate through whatever practices we want to be using for this. We get to cultivate more of a connection with our voice of love, and we get to connect with this voice of love on a daily basis as much as we can in whatever shape that works best for us. So one way that I really love is doing channeled writing. So you can write what is it again? It's been a while. 2 years ago, I did it every single day, and it was so powerful. Okay, yeah. So it goes, I call upon my voice of love, or my higher self, or my soul, or source, God, whatever we want to call that aspect within ourselves. I call upon my higher self to write to me, through me, anything that wants to be shared in this moment, or anything that is important for me to know right now. And so we write that down, and then we just allow it to flow. And so by having that intention of connecting to that aspect of ourselves and allowing that voice to flow through us, that is a beautiful way to cultivate a connection. My current way that I do it is when I wake up, I tune in to gratitude and love, and I say to myself, thank you for this life. Thank you that I'm alive, that I get to experience another day. I open myself to miracles. I love myself. I love me. I love you. I love you. And that's how I tune into that frequency from the very first moment of waking up. And then I take that a step further by connecting to my whole energy field and checking in on what dense energy is around, what dense emotions are here, to hold space for them, to see, okay, what limiting beliefs am I still carrying today? And then I simply hold space for them, I witness them, and I don't ask them, but I say, thank you, I love you, and I release you, or something like that. And so in that way, I'm holding space for them, and I'm not allowing them to be me. I'm having that distance. And then I tune into my soul again, or my higher self, and I feel into the potential reality that I could be living, that new next iteration of whatever I'm calling in, that beautiful dream life that I want to be living now. And I feel into that, I connect with that. And then I ask for guidance from that place, and guidance will come through. Sometimes I ask for one thing. What's one thing that I get to do today? And then I will hear that. And then this is where part 2 comes in, because we can connect with our soul in so many ways. We can do it in meditation. I meditated every day for 2 years, and it was the most powerful thing I've ever done for myself. It changed my whole life in such a beautiful and powerful way. So that's also a great way. Like I said, just following your passion, doing things that you truly love, is also a way that we get to cultivate that connection with that part of ourselves. With that being said, I do find it very powerful to have that conversation with that part of ourselves in any shape or form possible, whether in meditation, journaling, or whilst on a walk, just checking in, being like, hey, what's up? That part of myself, voice of love, what are we saying today? Just to actually cultivate a relationship with that part of ourselves, because that way we can more consciously work with that voice, because we always have both voices. We always have the voice of love and the voice of fear. And sometimes one or sometimes the other will be louder, depending on what we're experiencing in that moment. So the more we cultivate that relationship with the voice of love, the more we can speak and act from that voice. So I would definitely recommend some sort of direct conversation or check-in or way of allowing that voice to come through in a conscious way, because that's a really powerful way to then really step forward from that voice. And so again, this is where we're coming to part 2. So part 1 is connecting with that voice in any shape or form and allowing a conversation. And again, this, for me right now, I do find it very important to have it as a daily practice, because doing it every day cultivates more trust, more confidence, and it allows things to happen more quickly, basically. Having that level of commitment and devotion allows me to build the momentum towards really creating that beautiful life for myself, right? So part 1, connecting and having that relationship, having the voice come through. Part 2, this is so important, because very often for me in the past, I've been really good at engaging with part 1, and part 2 has been like, Part 2 is taking action based on what came through. So when I was doing the child writing, every day my higher self would be sharing things like, make that YouTube video. I think I was doing the child writing before I started making YouTube videos. And very often it'd be like, do that YouTube video, do it. It's time to do it. And I'll be like, oh great, yeah, I'm getting guidance, I'm meant to be on YouTube. I already know that I need to be on YouTube. Yeah, I'll do it one day. And I didn't follow the guidance then. I was like, yeah, tomorrow or at some point. Yeah, good to know that that's the guidance, and I'll do it eventually. And so in that way, I got to prolong the beautiful creative process of stepping onto YouTube, sharing my voice, because I didn't follow the action, the steps that my soul, my higher self were guiding me towards. And while I have no regrets in life, because I just don't believe in regrets in that capacity, we can all make mistakes and learn from them, of course. However, I do believe that everything is perfect the way that it is. So it's okay. And at the same time, yes, I get to learn from this. I get to learn that it's about taking action when the message comes through. The message coming through, do this thing. This will serve you today. Then it's time to do it. It's time to do it that day. It's time to prioritize that. And this is another thing that came through for me in such a powerful way this year. It was about prioritizing what comes through for me from that voice over everything else. Because that voice of love, my soul, my higher self, that gets to be the priority. When I'm allowing myself to act from that being the priority, I'm allowing my dream life to become the priority, because my soul wants me to live the dream life now, and always. And my soul knows how I get to do that. And so taking action from what comes through, making that a number one priority in the day. Because it's so easy to allow our voice of guilt to get in and be like, oh no, I can't prioritize that because I have this other thing that's more important to do. And oh no, or our self-sabotage, or our shame, or unworthiness as well. Unworthiness of actually living that dream life. So therefore stopping ourselves to take action based on the higher guidance. All of those voices can come up and be very real. And that's why it is so beautiful to hold space for those voices and to connect with them as well from a distance, not from a place of I am that voice, I am that. Yes, I am shameful. That is me. So once we start identifying too much of those voices, then we become them, and then it's harder to let go of acting from that place of love rather than from those voices of fear, shame, guilt, and whatever else they may be. So it's almost, I'm feeling like this part 3 is important for when we start noticing that we are blocked. And it's just a really good general practice to have anyway, because when we don't connect with our shadows, with these lower dimensional voices or more higher density voices, then very often we aren't aware of them and they will just fully take over. And then we won't be aware that we're coming from that voice. And it's so easy, and that's what the spiritual ego is about as well. We'll make some sort of excuse of why we shouldn't do that thing, and it'll sound very rational in our mind, and it'll make so much sense. And very often that will simply be the ego getting in the way and being like, no, I'm not ready to do that. Therefore, this is a really good reason why we shouldn't do this right now. So that's why it's great to hold space for them. And also, that's why it's great to take action straight away. Because when we wait, when we say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll just think a little bit more about how to do that, and then I'll do it tomorrow. And then by the time tomorrow comes, the little shadows may have convinced you that actually I don't need to do this right now. It's not the right time. I'm not ready yet, or a few more things have to happen before I get to do that. I haven't created quite the right circumstances yet for me to be able to do that right now. And then we will have talked ourselves out of it. So listening to our guidance every day, acting on it straight away. And it may be messy, it may be uncomfortable, it may be like, oh, why do I have to do this? This is really hard. Overcoming those lower aspects that are stopping us from doing that or can stop us from doing it, not allowing them to stop us from doing it, and simply taking action based on that voice of love. And that then also creates confidence, because we can trust ourselves. We can trust that we will do what is actually best for us. And from that place, it becomes easier and easier. From that place of confidence, it's like, okay, I've received this guidance today. That feels hard. That feels challenging. I'm going to do it. I've been doing it every day for the last however many days. And I've actually already seen some amazing results from some of those times. So yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Even if it feels challenging, even if I have to overcome myself, even if that little voice of shame is coming up being like, you're not worthy to be expressing yourself in this way, or whatever it is. So those are the 2 most important steps that, in my opinion, we can take for ourselves right now, because we all are worthy of living our dream life. And I also want us to just remember, we're already living the dream life now. And there is another version of that dream life waiting, another delicious, upgraded version that we get to enjoy when that comes. And we get to fully be in gratitude for the dream life that we are already living now, and living in that paradox. And we are all worthy, and we can all do something about creating it. None of us are exempt. We all get to practice certain things that can help us to create that reality for ourselves by thinking differently, by tuning in to that voice of love and by trusting it, by taking action, by following it. I've been doing this for a while now, and it has shifted my life so much. For so long, as I mentioned, I was doing step 1 and I was ignoring step 2. I was like, oh, later, when I'm more ready. Now it's like, no, actually, life's too short to wait until I'm ready. I get to be ready now. I get to trust now. I get to step into that powerful next iteration of myself now. And I get to embody my highest good right now in my life. So, how are these steps landing with you? Where are you at on your journey? Do you find step 1 easy, step 2 challenging, or have you been taking loads of action, however, not from a place of love? Because that's also another thing that we can do. It's applying loads of effort, taking loads of action, but it's actually from a voice of fear, of not enoughness. And so I invite you, if that's you, I invite you, listen. Are you taking action from not good enough, so therefore I need to do more? Are you taking action from limiting beliefs, like I have to work hard to make money? Or are you taking action from that beautiful voice within us, that stillness, tapping into that stillness? And also, this really is about the most beautiful embodiment of the feminine and masculine energies as well. Feminine energy of turning inwards, listening, coming into stillness, allowing that subtle, beautiful, loving voice to come forward. And then that masculine energy of going out there, using that energy, bringing that energy out into the world, taking action based upon what came forward when we were in the feminine principle of listening, of surrendering, of receiving, right? So receiving that beautiful guidance, and then taking action, living that beautiful embodiment of the feminine and masculine principles working in harmony together as one within us. So let me know in the comments what came up for you, and like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.